4th and goal to go to the 2. 34 seconds left to go in the ball game. This is the play right now. Takes the snap. Targeted goes in. Targeted all alone. And the quarterback keeps. Wow, what a call. Nobody touched him.
Here is Jeff, the host of the Gridiron.
But this is, one interesting little tidbit here. Right? Russell Wilson's crazy preseason stat. Now, it's not only so much, it's not so much it's his preseason stat, but it's also what the Giants are going to happen this year with the plus 60 point differential. It's only happened since 2009. It's only happened. This is the 8th time it's happened since 2009. And there's only, I think, the Giants, so it's happened 8 times, right? The Giants are one of them. So now we're down to 7 because we haven't played a game, right? So we don't know if the Giants are making the playoffs or not. But the only out of those other 7 teams, only that somehow, don't know how it happened. Somehow the Bears from last year did it. 2024 Bears were over 60 point, and they didn't make the playoffs. But the first 6 teams since 2009 had a plus 60 point differential. Okay, now I'm going to start in just a second here. Also, how impressive the Giants and the Bears were. Right, in just a second, but since 2009, the other 6 teams that had a plus 60 point differential all went to the playoffs. They averaged 11.1 wins per season. Okay. But what makes this so special, okay, with the Giants and the Bears is that I think, we're going to go over this in just a second. I think, if I'm not mistaken, all the other teams that had a plus 60 point differential, once again, I get it. It's only preseason. It doesn't mean we're going to the Super Bowl. I get it. But all the other teams that are plus 60 point differential played 4 preseason games. The Giants and the Bears did it in 3. Right? Now let's hope that the Giants wind up being like the first 6 teams that did it and not the last one, because the Bears, to be fair, the Bears coaching was atrocious last year. They had better coaching. They had a good coach on that sideline. I think they were 5-12 or something like that. I mean, if they had some good coaching, they would have won more games without question. But let me go over this here. It's just interesting. But also, out of those 8 teams since 2009, Russell Wilson's been a part of 3 of them. Obviously, 2 of them with the Seahawks. Back in the day when the Seahawks were good. But Russell Wilson's been a part of 3 of those teams. All right, so Giants pull off rare preseason feat that's produced 2 Super Bowl champs, 6 playoff teams over the past 16 years. This preseason feat has led to a playoff appearance for almost every team that has accomplished it since 2009, except, as I said, the only team that has not gone to the playoffs was the Bears from last season. Now, I'm not saying the Bears would have gone to the playoffs last season if they had a better coach, but if they had a better coach on the sideline, they easily could have won a few more games. Easily. That was a shame because Caleb Williams had himself not too bad of a season. It seems like with Caleb, if you give him a good coach, it's really going to help him and help the Bears too. All right. So when it comes to the NFL preseason, the games are generally viewed as being pretty meaningless. Well, yes and no. Not for the guys trying to make the roster. If a team has a good preseason, that doesn't necessarily mean they'll be good during the regular season. And if you need proof, just ask the 2008 Detroit Lions and the 2017 Cleveland Browns about that. Both teams went 4-0 in the preseason before going 0-16 in the regular season. And the Giants did that too. I mean, the Giants, I know one of the years, I can't remember what one it was, in the 70s, they went 6-0 in the preseason. I think they won like 2 games in the regular season. So it doesn't, although the preseason doesn't really serve as a good predictor for the regular season, there has been one stat that has somehow translated to regular season success, and that's point differential. And if you're a fan of the New York Giants, this is where you're going to want to start paying attention. Thanks to their 42-10 win over the Patriots. I mean, I don't even remember the last time the Giants beat a team by 30 points in the preseason. I don't know. So thanks to their win over the Patriots, the Giants will finish the preseason with a record of 3-0. In those 3 games, the Giants outscored their opponents by 60 points. The reason that's notable is because over the past 16 years, a point differential of 60 seems to be the magic number when trying to figure out if a team's preseason success will translate to the regular season. But as I said, all those other teams that did it played 4 games. That means they average winning by on average of at least like 15 points per game. The Giants did it in 3 games. I mean, they averaged beating their 3 teams by a grand of 20 points each game. Giants are the 8th team since 2009 to finish a preseason with a point differential of 60 or more. And of the 7 previous teams, 6 of them made the playoffs, including 2 teams that went on to win the Super Bowl. Also, in a nice twist, Russell Wilson was the starting quarterback for 2 of those 7 teams on the list, and he'll be the Giants starter in Week 1. So out of those 8 teams, Russell Wilson has been a quarterback 3 times. Let's check out the other 7 teams on the list. The first one was the 2009 Nolan Saints. What did they do? They won the Super Bowl. Preseason record of 3-1. The point differential was plus 69. Regular season, they were 13-3. And they wound up winning. The Saints started the regular season 13-0 on their way to winning the NFC South. Obviously, then they wound up winning the Super Bowl for the first time in franchise history. 2011 Detroit Lions. The preseason was 4-0. Their point differential was a plus 67. They finished 10-6. After going 11 years without a playoff berth, the Lions' drought finally ended. It came during a season where they blew everyone out in the preseason. So once again, both those teams made the playoffs. These next 2 teams made the playoffs with Russell Wilson. 2012 Seahawks preseason, they were 4-0. Point differential plus 78. Regular season, they were 11-5 during Russell Wilson's rookie year. Seahawks blew out everyone in the preseason and then proceeded to also dominate during the regular season. After finishing second in the NFC West, the Seahawks won a wild card playoff game before losing 30-28 in the divisional round to Atlanta. The Falcons hit a 49-yard field goal with 8 seconds left to clinch the win. Tough way to lose. The 2013 Seahawks finished the preseason 4-0. Russell Wilson, once again, was the quarterback. Point differential, plus 73. The regular season, 13-3. They wound up winning the Lombardi Trophy. Pete Carroll clearly took the preseason football seriously because for the second straight year, not only did the Seahawks go 4-0 in the preseason, but they once again outscored their opponents by at least 70 points. The 2013 season ended with Carroll and the Seahawks hoisting the Lombardi Trophy after beating the Broncos. The 2014 Denver Broncos. Preseason, they were 3-1, point differential plus 62. The regular season, 12-4. During Peyton Manning's season in Denver, the Broncos rolled through their preseason with 2 of their 3 wins coming by at least 24 points. Their preseason dominance translated to the regular season with Denver winning the AFC West. However, they did get upset by the Colts in the divisional round of the playoffs. The 2019 Baltimore Ravens, preseason record 4-0, point differential plus 66, regular season 14-2. John Harbaugh loves to play to win in the preseason, and we know that because Baltimore once won an NFL record 24 straight preseason games. And once again, they went 3-0 this year, too. During that streak, this was the only season where the Ravens outscored their preseason opponents by at least 60 points. So they had plus 66-point differential in the preseason. In the regular season, not only did the Ravens finish with the best record in the NFL, but Lamar Jackson also won MVP. Now this team here, the Bears from last year, they were 4-0 in the preseason. I would say they were 4-0. The Giants are the only team with a plus 60. I guess the Bears must have played, I guess maybe the Hall of Fame game or something like that, but they played 4 preseason games last year. They were plus 68-point differential, but the regular season they were only 5-12. A better coach, they could have easily won 2 or 3 more games. Easily. Probably wouldn't have made the playoffs, but they would have definitely had a better record. Their coaching was just atrocious last year. Bears are the only team over the past 16 years to outscore their opponents by at least 60 points in the preseason and not make the playoffs. Although they went 5-12, they were a lot closer to making the postseason than their record might suggest. The team lost 7 games by 1 score, including an NFL high 5 losses that came by 3 points or less. The Bears were 4-2 at one point last season and would have been 5-2 if they could have stopped Jaden Daniels from completing a Hail Mary against them in Week 8. Bears also had a missed field goal on the final play of a 2019 loss against the Packers in Week 11. And let's not forget that they had the clock run out on them in the 3-point Thanksgiving loss to the Lions. Might sound crazy to say, but this team was just a few plays away from going 9-8 or even 10-7. It's the truth. Anyway, even the Chicago's 5-win season, the 7 teams above still managed to win an average of 11 games per season. Giants are now the 8th team to outscore their opponents by at least 60 points or more since 2009. And as I said, they only did that in 3 games. All those other teams had 4 games. If history holds, that means that they'll likely be headed to at least the playoffs. Of course, it won't be easy. The Giants do have the toughest strength of schedule in the NFL this year. If you go back 20 years, there would be only one other team added to this list, the 2006 Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals were 8-5 at one point and had just to win one of their final 3 games to make the playoffs, but they fell apart down the stretch, which included 2 heartbreaking losses over the final 2 games. In Week 16, they botched an extra point attempt with under a minute left in a 24-23 loss to the Broncos. In Week 17, they lost 23-17 to the Steelers in overtime after Pittsburgh scored on a 67-yard touchdown pass with just 90 seconds in overtime. Of the 8 teams over the past 20 years to outscore their opponents by 60 points or more in the preseason, 7 have finished with a record of 500 or better. 6 have made the playoffs, and only the Bears have finished under 500. So, and I said, a couple of them wound up winning the Super Bowl. So, yeah, once again, it's only preseason, but as I said, after preseason was over, I'd rather much be sitting here saying the Giants were 3-0, and we outscored our opponents by 60 points in 3 games. We just whooped up on the Patriots by 30. I don't even know. When was the last time the Giants beat a team by 32 points in preseason? I mean, I can certainly look it up, but I mean, I don't know. When was the last time? I don't know. When was the last time the Giants outscored their opponents by 60 points in a preseason game? In a season. I don't know. It's a lot of points. 60 points. So, once again, doesn't translate, isn't going to translate into, or guaranteeing no wins. Obviously, that all has to come, on the field. That comes again. It's going to come week 1, obviously, I guess, against the Commanders. Let's see if we can beat them, right? Let's not forget we could have beaten them last year if we only had a kicker. If we had a healthy kicker last year, we quite possibly wind up beating the Commanders in Washington. But if all that stuff came to fruition and stuff like that, we may not have Abdul Carter and we may not have Jackson Dart. So things worked out for the best. And then the year before that, when we SHIT the bed, right? We may not have wound up with Malik Neighbors. So those 2 really horrible seasons, right, quite possibly gave the Giants 3 really good draft picks in the first round. So.